We are in dial pair configuration. Dial pair are the routing table to route the call in routers. It tells router when receive a call this what to do with this. Earlier you can point a web dial pair to a server using the command session target followed by the uh, IPv4 colon followed by the IP address. This only allows to send the particular call to a single server. Cisco came up with a new features, cool feature called server group, allows to point a dial pair to a bunch of servers. This reduces the number of dial pair and the complexity of the dial plan. So let's go to the details. Now you have a scenario here. You have three redundant call manager subscribers in your cluster, CSM cluster. If any call coming to a SIP cube gateway from ITSP, firstly it will send the call to first node of the mm, servers, that means 1.1, and if it is not getting any response or if it is not getting 100 try message from this server, normally it will try with the second node, that means 1.2, so on. In this scenario, for redundancy, at least you need three dial pairs configured with preference. So with the server group you can mention all, you can create a voice class and you can mention all of the servers under the voice class, and this voice class can be applied under the dial piece. So you just need to create a single dial piece. Let's go to the some of the features we need to understand before going to the configuration. Firstly, it supports both IPv4 and IPv6 address, and you can associate preference for the servers if you need it. So also it allows to configure round robin selection of the servers, which and what it allows up to 5 servers. That means in under the voice class you can mention 5 number of servers, and also it allows to apply this voice class under 5 dial piece. If you didn't mention any round robin or if you didn't mention any preference on the servers, normally it will take random selection. Also it allows to shut down the voice class if you don't need to use, unless you need to you put unshut down command under the voice class. Let's go to the configuration. We have firstly we need to create a voice class, and you can mention if it is a IPv4 address, you can mention IPv4 followed by the IP address. If it is a IPv6 address, you can mention the command IPv6 followed by the IPv6 address. And if you need to put preference on, then you can mention IPv4 followed by the IP address, then preference and preference value. One thing you need to understand is if you didn't mention any preference, normally by default it will take preference value as 0. The lowest preference value have the highest preference. That means if you didn't mention any preference, it will take as 0 and it has highest priority. So you can mention up to 9 preference value, and if you need to put a hunt scheme, you can mention the hunt scheme round robin. So it will allow us to send the first call with the first server, and the second call with the second server, and third calls and with third servers. So it allows to load balance uh, between the servers. And if you need to shut down the particular voice class, you can use the command shutdown, and if you don't need to use, unless you put unshut down the command. Then applying the voice class under dial piece. For example, here I create a dial pair voice class 1 2 3 VoIP, and session protocol SIP v2, that is to enable SIP under the dial pair, and destination pattern plus 90. That means, just for example, I put plus 90, and session server group and followed by the preference ID. Preference ID nothing but the same reference ID which we configured for voice class. Sorry, I mentioned that preference. It is not preference, it is a reference ID. Okay, so we have some verification commands here. Show voice class server group ID. Let me change the that is reference ID. So verification commands, we have some verification command for the particular server group. You can put show voice class server group followed by the IP ID, and show voice class server group and dial pair ID. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.